I thought today we could do a little introduction episode where I tell you a little bit about myself, my favorite crafts, what I'm working on right now, what my plans are, and the projects I would like to do in the near future, and also why I decided to try and start a knitting podcast.
It's yarn over heel, so grab a seat. Let's make together, stitch and repeat. With Mel to chat and share what's new. A handmade life just right for you.
Hello lovely people, I'm Mel and this is the very first episode of my Yarn Over Heel sewing and knitting podcast. It's really good to have you here. Enjoy and let's have a little sewing and knitting chat. I'm Mel and I am coming to you from Austria. I am living in the mountains, the Alps, and this, to be honest, is the ideal environment for being a knitter. So one of my two main crafts I like to do is knitting and also sewing, as you probably already guessed from my introduction. Initially, I learned how to knit and sew in school when I was a teenager, but this wasn't like, it was just, I had the basics down, if you could even call it that. So it was more than a basic understanding of how to sew and knit. So I started to sew when my oldest was born, and I really got into it 10 years ago. And I have always been sewing since, and I did learn most of it, I have to say, from very well written instructions, as is really the norm for sewing. You can pick up a lot by just following the instructions, and there often will be pictures and step-by-step tutorials like now you do this, next you do that. So that was kind of easy to pick up on your own. And I did also attend a couple sewing classes, and that was extremely interesting as well. But mostly I think I learned by being just part of the sewing community on Instagram. Back then, I mean, about 10 years ago, there was a lot going on Instagram, and it really and truly was lovely connecting with people who shared your interests and just bouncing ideas off one another and getting feedback and people sharing their favorite techniques and well, that way, just growing and learning together. I really loved it. And that's how I learned to sew. And if you would ask me which craft I am actually better at, I would definitely say sewing. Because knitting, although I do love to knit and I spend so much more time knitting than sewing, I started it in 2020, as probably so many people during the Corona pandemic, when it was my oldest who triggered all this, because she started school and I had to homeschool her. I mean, it was during the lockdowns, it was just all happening at home. And I am not a teacher. I had no clue about it, and it was honestly taking a lot of patience and just sitting with her, and well, I had to have something to keep my hands busy. So I started to knit. And with knitting, I wasn't part on the community on Instagram so much anymore. It just, over the years, I couldn't even tell you why, but Instagram just developed into a space I didn't feel so comfortable anymore participating. So I don't know, it was very different at this time as compared to when I started 5 to 6 years earlier with sewing. So all the knitting knowledge actually came from books and YouTube tutorials. Like literally everything I know and learned today is from there. And so without ever getting feedback on what I'm doing, I am so unsure about, I don't know if I'm doing things correctly. And this is just something I really missed about knitting, being part of a community and, I don't know, exchanging ideas and having people give you a bit of feedback and you being able to connect with others who share your love for knitting and crafting. And this leads right to why I wanted to start this podcast. For one part, as I already told you, I wanted to be part of a crafting and making community again. And this all was triggered kind of by me being ill for the better part of 2024. So I am still at home, not able to go back to work just yet, working on it. And so last year, when I was just not able to do a lot of things physically and mentally and cognitively, so that was a time where I would just watch so many YouTube podcasts, and it was oftentimes all I really could do. And also it was basically impossible for me to socialize in real life. I just couldn't do it, and I did not have the physical capabilities and the resources to just go out and meet people most days, that is. And so these YouTube podcasts really meant so much to me. It was like I felt so connected to like-minded people. I was enjoying watching you guys so much. And it was lovely and truly so healing to see so many people enjoying knitting and sewing and crafting and talking about it in such a nice and casual way. And I really thought I would love to contribute to this community and be a part of it, an active part, and not just watching, but also, just putting myself out there. And so that was the one thing, and just me really wanting to take part. And also I thought, well, with just my health taking just such a sudden hit, and my life kind of being flipped upside down in a matter of days and weeks, it does something to your confidence in yourself, your body, your strength and overall capabilities. And not just your physical capabilities, but also what you can do cognitively and mentally. And so I also thought this would be a perfect opportunity to challenge myself and to learn to trust in myself again. And well, I felt like it lined up so perfectly. And that's why I'm doing it, and I really hope it works out. I hope eventually, at some point, someone will watch any of my videos. It would be just so lovely. And so my plans for the podcast are to, on the one hand, I have to figure this out, of course, but I would like to talk about sewing and knitting. I don't know yet how to combine these two, if I will just do both or do separate episodes. I don't know yet. I would love to do what you guys love to call the standard, regular knitting episodes, where you talk about what you finished, what you're working on, and if you have any plans and acquisitions. So I would love to do these as well. although I thought I would really like to add a kind of a segment where we do some real talk about, I don't know, whatever just came across my mind. Thoughts on the yarn, the pattern, the knitting techniques, the sewing techniques, whatever. So let's just see if that works out, but I would love to include it. And also, I really would like to share with you how over the past 10 years I was trying to find out what style I like, how I planned my wardrobe, which is by now, after 10 years, mostly handmade. So it's either sewn or knitted. And I am so in love with making my own clothes, and I'm of course no expert, no professional, but I think there are things I could just tell you about. How I did it, what I love to do, share my process, and how I figure out what styles to make, what to stay away from. And especially with sewing, there has been so many fails that weren't technically fails, but just things I wouldn't want to wear. So that has been a steep learning curve, or not so steep in the beginning. I had fails for years. I made stuff, you guys, I am kind of sad I didn't photograph all of it. Some of these were just, it was ridiculous. Like fabrics, oh my goodness. I could tell you stories about my sewing fails for, I don't know, hours on end. And I sure will do in future episodes, but just trying to keep it a bit shorter today. So stories for another day to come. And yeah, so I guess there's just a lot of experiences I've had, a lot of fails, and also some successes finally after so much time. Sorry. Oh, I need to drink. Oops. I think I just splashed coffee on my pants, but never you mind. By the way, one of my favorite mugs. It's so cute. It's got lipstick all over it, but it is so cute. Is it? No, I'm not sure you can see it. Oh, never mind. Oh, did I tell you? I think I forgot to mention that I am living with my husband and 3 kids and 2 dogs. Oh, I don't know. I think I forgot. Oh my goodness. This is... Oh well, yeah. So I am not living here alone. Actually, I usually have a very full house, and I hope today the audio is okay. Yeah. So yeah. And finally for today, I would love to share my most recent finished objects although I think I will keep them for my first regular episode where I just do a normal not introduction episode, knitting and sewing episode, but I finished this hat. It's by Sari Nordlund. I forgot the pattern. I will have to look it up. Oh my goodness. I think the Archer beanie. Probably. And I don't know if this is... if you can see it. I don't know. Yeah, I will get better at this, I promise. At some point I will figure it out. And I made a matching Solange scarf. No, not also by Sari, but by Anne Wenzel. So, I don't know if you can see much. I will keep this for the next episode to show you more. This actually has a very nice color changing yarn, a very subtle color change, and as you can see it's a set. Good, so my finished objects. What am I working on? I definitely wanted to show you. Let me just grab it real quick. So here is that is by Sari Nordlund. It's called, just give me 1 second. Oh, this is so unprofessional. I didn't look it up. Soul Sister Scarf. Soul Sister Scarf. Oh, I have to get better at this. So that's what I'm working on. And I think also, you know what? I will put my notes together. What yarn I'm using, the patterns, the designers, all the interesting stuff, and share in my regular knitting episode. I will just give you a quick sneak peek. Also, second item I am currently working on. This is probably extremely hard to see. I'm just holding it up. And I know a lot of people have made it recently. Is it picked? The color isn't. Oh, the sun is coming out now. Oh no, that's a bummer. That really is a bummer. It's the Beatrix cardigan by Gregoria Fibers. The color it's lovely. I made it in Isayer tweed, color autumn. It is so beautiful. It really truly is beautiful. And I combined it with the Isayer Highland wool in the color wine. These two I know off the top of my head, but nothing else. So I will gather all the information and come back to you about these. You guys, I almost forgot to tell you what I'm wearing. This is the 1031 sweater by Osetta, and it is knit up in pear gynt and tin silk mohair. I love the color. It is called Chassis Pink, and fit, instructions, everything perfect. I love it. Okay, so I guess you guys, that's it for today. A very short, as I said, the sun is moving. I think we have to come to an end. I really enjoyed talking to you. That was just lovely. And well, also I hear, oh, I hope the microphone isn't picking it up. My mom dropped off her 2 dogs and one of them is unhappy about being downstairs. So I will go have a look what's going on down there. But as I said, it has been lovely talking to you. Okay, so thanks for watching today if you made it this far. It was lovely having you here. This was Yarn Over Heels, the sewing and knitting podcast with Mel, and I hope to be back very soon with a regular sewing and knitting episode, and also, as I said, some special formats about, just focus and highlight topics, if you will. So have a lovely day and have a good time knitting and sewing and crafting away. I am so sorry. I'm gonna spare you this. Okay. The sun is just, oh, this is awful. And, okay, that's not, okay. Where is my little, because all this, oh my goodness, they are making just such a, I am sure that's picking up on the microphone. Whatever. Oh my goodness. I tell you a little bit about myself. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's do that again. See you soon. Bye.